When marimba rhythms start to play, dance with me, make me sway.
Hey, there he is.
Lazy ocean,
Brian. How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Okay, so episode 3, we're here with Sal The Voice. Welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. So tell me a little bit about yourself. So you grew up in Long Island, right?
That's right. Born and raised.
Born and raised Long Island. You have
Yeah.
a big family?
Big family. Big Italian family.
All right.
A lot of cousins. A lot of uncles and aunts.
Sunday
always
dinners?
around.
Sunday dinners?
I mean, Sunday dinners, holidays. Everyone's communion, baptism. It's always a big get together.
And was it a musical family?
No, as a matter of fact. So, a musical family in the sense that music was always playing, but no one was really performing.
Gotcha.
I was kind of a one-off. The music, though, was always the backdrop of all these happy occasions. And so the music, especially the reason for the genre of music that I sing, the American songbook, the American standards, that's all rooted in that feeling of happiness and family and togetherness. It's music that makes me happy. And in turn, what I've learned over the last few years performing it professionally is that it brings that same level of joy and nostalgia to people all over the world.
Yeah, no, it's great because what you do, you're a rare bird right now. You're a rare breed because not everyone's kind of doing that style of music. And so, your grandmother, what was her name? Tina, right?
Tina.
Is that right? So she was a big influence on you, right?
Yeah. So, big Italian families, much in the same way, my friends and the big Jewish families are. Parents, grandparents, very involved. So I didn't have my parents didn't hire a babysitter when I was a kid. I would go to half-day preschool and then go to my grandmother's house.
And she would be playing music?
She would be, first she'd make me lunch, food is probably why I have such a positive association, let's be honest. She'd make me lunch. She'd sit me in her middle room in front of General Hospital and all my children, which is probably not great material for a 3-year-old to be watching. But afterwards, we'd go into the kitchen, and she'd put on music. She had an 8-track player in the corner. Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Jerry Vale, Vic Damone, Jimmy Roselli. She'd play the music, and we'd have dessert. We'd hang out, and we'd dance until my mother and father came and picked me up.
Wow, that's amazing.
I went to regular public school, and back at the time, 2000, 2001, I'm in kindergarten, first grade, and Backstreet Boys and Ja Rule and NSYNC. That's all what's popular.
Did it have an influence on you though, or?
That music for sure.
Me
It's
too.
that's stuff I listen to today. I listen to everything.
I'm the guy first row at New Kids on the Block concert.
That's great.
No bull.
That's great.
I grew up in a kind of a musical family as well.
Yeah.
Like the Bee Gees were always on.
Not to get off topic, but I was doing an event at the DC Hilton, which is where they have it's where they have the White House Correspondents' Dinner, the DC Hilton, and I was the anthem singer and then the finale singer. And in between, they had several acts, but most memorable for me was the Sugar Hill Gang.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Rapper's Delight. And I was just so excited to meet Wonder Mike. This big, towering guy. And I run up to him and I go, "Oh my God, Wonder Mike, I'm such a huge fan." And I did like half the verse from Rapper's Delight.
Like a hip hop.
Yeah, because the time was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
We were all a little tuned up, right? A little uninhibited. And I go, and he goes, "Man, I love all that Sinatra and all that." I go, "You do?" I'm thinking like, wow, you're a rapper who sampled, good times from Chic. I would think that's what you're into is disco and all that. And he says, "No, man, music is a mood. Music is a mood."
Totally.
And there's some days where I'm in the mood to listen to NSYNC. There's some days where I'm in the mood to listen to Bill Withers. There's some days where, I'm the gothic choir. It's the most depressing sounding thing ever. And yet, in a certain day, on a certain mood, you know, with the certain vibe, it's good stuff to listen to.
Yeah, 100%. I always say, like, when people make fun of, because I'm very pop I love music, by the way.
Yeah.
I have a little 18-month son, and he's playing the drums already. You know,
That's great.
So music. So you know, I grew up listening to all kinds of music, but it was always weird when people would try to make fun of somebody for the music they listen to. But like what you said, it's a mood. You know, whatever makes somebody happy.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
So when my grandmother passed away, I was in 6th grade. My parents just got me an iPod Nano. You know, that's how we used to listen to music, kids. We had a separate device. And I downloaded all this music because that's what I had to remember her by. That was my happy association with my grandmother.
Yeah.
With those simpler times where it was just us. And I would listen to this music all the time. I even in high school, I played football. And every you know, we played football on Saturdays. It was a Catholic school, and every Saturday morning we'd be in the locker room, and these guys would be listening to, you know, all this music to get them hyped up. And one day, the fullback looks over my shoulder. He goes, "What are you listening to?" This kid Joe Gotti, who I adore, is one of the best guys ever, and. Joe goes, "What are you listening to? How do you get hyped off of that, off of Sinatra?"
Yeah.
I go, "What are you listening to?" And I look, he's listening to Drake. I go, "How do you get hyped to hit people off of Drake?" Let's be real.
Yeah. Sinatra,
You know,
though. I love Sinatra.
How you going to make fun of me when you're listening to that?
Exactly.
I never let it bother me. And as a matter of fact, it was my sophomore year of high school when I found out that I could sing. Like I said, my family wasn't very musical. So there wasn't a lot of encouragement into being musical. I wouldn't even sing Happy Birthday, to be honest with
Were
you.
you shy?
I was shy. I was shy in that respect.
Yeah.
I didn't shy away from anything else. Matter of fact, this situation I'm about to describe was the same summer that the Barclays tournament came to Bethpage Black.
Gotcha.
And I was growing up right there. They had a parking lot that you'd pay for a pass to park for the day. And if you didn't have a pass, you were told to go from, for those of you who don't know, from Bethpage, New York, Bethpage Black, all the way to Jones Beach to park at their overflow
The
lot.
amphitheater.
Then get scanned, then get on a shuttle bus and come all the way back to Bethpage. Now, these are guys who are 15 minutes away from Tiger Woods' one of his, you know, one of what would be one of his last professional tee times before he went away with injury. Yeah. You know, these guys didn't want to waste an hour and a half going down to Jones Beach. So I made a sign. I was 15 years old. I made a sign on a piece of particle board that said, "Park in my driveway, $50 for the U.S. Open." In a week, I made $5,000.
Wow. You had a big lot, huh?
So I was big driveway. And then I guess I could say this now because I'm never going to be doing this again, or maybe I will. They had these parking passes for the street, so not just anyone could park on the street, residents only, and they gave 2 per household. These yellow paper passes, and they were laminated. So what I did was I ran copies, had them laminated. I cut out maybe like 15 of them. So the mystery was, you know. I had this street, and it was supposed to be resident parking only, and yet every spot on the street was taken. Had all these passes in the window. You know, make a few extra dollars.
That was another pass. So you're in high school, right? What was high school life like? Were you popular? Did you have a lot of friends?
I had an eclectic group of friends. I played football, so I had my jock friends. I was in band at the time. I played the baritone horn.
Gotcha.
So I had band friends. My mother had gotten me private lessons for the baritone horn, which the baritone horn is it's like a trombone and a tuba. Had an ugly kid.
What age were you when you started this, like 14, 15?
When I first picked up the horn, I was in elementary school, but this is about 14, 15.
Gotcha.
I was in a private lesson, and I had to learn Flight of the Bumblebee. Right. Which is a tremendously horrific song to learn. You know, it's just terrible for your fingers and your joints. It's, you know, it's basically like chromatics, up and down, up and down, up and down. But for those of you who don't know, a chromatic scale is, you know, you have a regular scale is do, re, mi. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And then a chromatic scale is do, instead of do, re, it's do, re, mi, fa, sol. It's all the halves in between. So you're basically going up and down on the halves. And it's a tremendous pain in the ass, but I learned it. And I go, listen, can we play some jazz or something like that? And the guy goes, well, what do you want to play? I said, this is a song by Bobby Darin that me and my grandmother used to listen to. But I forgot the name of it. He goes, well, how does it go? I said, all right. Oh, the shark babe has such teeth, dear, and he shows them pearly whites. Just a jackknife has old Mac Heath, babe, and he keeps it out of sight. And the guy goes, what the fuck was that? Wow. And I said, oh, is that bad? And he goes, do you know the whole thing? I said, yeah. He goes, do you know the modulations? I said, the what? He says, you know how it goes up? I said, oh, yeah, it goes up every time. He said, yeah. It's this song has 5 modulations. I mean, it changes key, whether it's a half step or a full step. It changes key, I believe, 5 or 6 times throughout the tune. And to do it a cappella and stay on key, I didn't know at the time, was not a natural thing. And I did it. I took to it like water.
You knew how to do it, but not technically, right? Not
I'd been listening to it so much. And I have what's called relative pitch, which means I could hear something once and then sing the note. The guy tests me out and everything, and he is encouraging me to go and try out for this this thing that this other girl in my high school was trying out for, where you would sing the finale, Phantom of the Opera. We're in New York City. For those of you who don't know, Broadway is the mecca of entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to classical entertainment, musical entertainment, it's Broadway. And an iconic Broadway show just closed, Phantom of the Opera, just closed a couple weeks ago.
After, 30 years?
Something like that. This guy, Frank D'Ambrosio, is the longest-running Phantom in Phantom of the Opera. He had a show called Frank D'Ambrosio's Broadway, where he would perform all the Broadway songs, not just from shows he's been in, but from shows he loves. And
like
basically, I don't know about Hamilton, but things that kind of songs that also told the story of his life.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, whatever city he went to, he would cast a Raoul and a Christine. Raoul and Christine are the love interests from Phantom of the Opera, and the song they would sing together is "All I Ask of You." That's all I ask of you. So this girl was in my school. She needed a male voice for the recording to send into this contest. It wasn't even expected that I would get called to go with her.
Yeah.
But seemingly as a formality, we did this recording. Now, I had to miss football practice to do this recording. So already it was now known that not only am I listening to this, you know, according to them, this strange music, but now I'm singing it. You know, like, what the hell's going on with Sal?
The football players are like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't, put it this way, it wasn't as, what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't as storybook as High School Musical was.
Gotcha.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
A little less politically correct. I get the call back with this girl. Excuse me, with this girl to do this performance, and we go and we audition, and there's several rounds, and the first round she got cut.
Wow.
And so I get my stuff and I start to walk out, and they said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Well, we got cut." She goes, "No, she got cut."
You didn't get cut.
This is the first thing I ever auditioned for. Mind you, I've only known I could sing for a couple of months.
And at this point, I was going to ask you, with the knowing you can sing, had you been in a car with your family around singing to songs? Had you been in the shower singing? Had friends overheard you sing in the locker room?
I would sing in the shower.
Okay.
Right? My mother's tone deaf. So she wouldn't be able to tell what the hell she was listening to. When we were in the car and there's music playing, my mother would be singing. And I love my mother. Please don't get me wrong. I love my mother. But when she sings, it sounds like a cat in a dryer, you know, like being tossed around on a spin cycle. It's pretty terrible. So I would open my mouth, you know, I'd be like, oh, Jesus, if I'm the spawn of that, there can't be anything good going on here. I had to miss another practice for the performance, at which point Joe Gotti, my friend from the locker room, basically said, all right, we're calling you out. We were in a meeting room in the school getting our warm-ups. So at the beginning of every season, we'd get, you know, team sweatshirts, team sweatpants, team shirts, team bags. And so we were waiting for all that. And one of the coaches, I believe he was the defensive coach, Mr. Ware, Coach Ware, he was the art teacher at Holy Trinity High School. So our coach was like this real manly man. He used to break his balls about being the art teacher. And he said, well while we're in the other room fetching everything, Coach Ware is going to entertain you with interpretive song and dance. At which point, Joe Gotti, because he was short, stands up on a chair and goes, hey, Coach, you know, Sal's a singer now. Maybe he could show us a little something or two. So I said, you know what, Joe? Fuck you. I get up, I walk to the front of the room, and I sang New York, New York in front of my entire football team. Wow. Now, I don't care what you say about the football, kid who's singing, but it takes a lot of balls to get up in front of your football team and sing.
New York, New York.
It's extremely, the whole reason why I never really thought I would be a singer is it's extremely awkward standing up in front of people and singing, you know, especially when it's not your jam.
And you don't know you're as good yet.
That, and also like, you know, at my age, at 15, at this point, the kids who are singing have been doing it since they're 8 years old. Their parents have put them in every, you know, community theater production of Hairspray there ever was. You know, like if someone asked them to sing, they're like, okay. You know,
they're ready to perform. They're ready to go on.
Bring up High School Musical because I'm 27 years old. But Ashley Tisdale in High School Musical does the vocal warm-ups, you know, like that type of thing they're doing. I'm like standing like, what the hell? And this video, before viral was a thing, made it around my entire high school.
Of you singing?
Of me singing.
Yeah. How did it go? Did they standing ovation?
My football coach sits me down at the end of the season because now people are asking me to do things.
Yeah.
Like the principal of the school, Gene Fennell, great guy, great educator, and just really, really solid dude, said, I'm doing a pasta night fundraiser, and I want you to sing at the pasta night.
Wow.
So I had to have him ask permission from my coach to take off another practice. At which point my coach sits me down and goes, listen, I think you got to pick one or the other, singing or football. And I was like, well, I definitely, if I might not have a shot at this singing thing in life, I definitely don't have a shot at the football thing, right? 1%, less than 1% of high school football players nationwide make it into professional sports.
Yeah, it's a tough gig. It's
less than 1%. Yeah. And let me tell you something. That 1% is not coming from Long Island, New York. They're coming from Alabama and Texas and states
California,
where Friday night high school football games are like you know, LSU. It's a big deal.
So do you make a choice at this point?
I made a choice at that point, and I auditioned for the musical.
Wow.
And I made it. I made it onto the musical. I got a lead.
Wow. What was the music? Which musical?
It was Into the Woods, and I was cast as Cinderella's prince.
Wow.
I ended up not making it to the production as Cinderella's prince. And this is an important lesson for anyone who finds themselves in any situation where they've been lucky enough to advance quickly. Yeah. There is such a thing as advancing too quickly. and not taking things seriously. In business, it's the same thing. You get to a level very quickly with people and situations that you're not familiar with. And maybe it's self-sabotage, but you end up not learning enough to sit at that table.
Did this happen to you?
And it happened to me.
Yeah. So you quit the high school team, right?
I quit the football team.
You tried for the production.
Did the musical.
Yeah.
Got the lead. And then soon found out that there was. Do we got to switch batteries?
No. He's talking to me. Sorry.
I soon found out that there was so much more to it than just singing, because I'm coming from the world of, we'll just get up there and sing.
There's more technicality.
This is the world of, no, this is 6 nights a week of hard work, learning lines, learning what those lines mean. It's a musical that's based in, in medieval times. So there's language that we're not used to. I employed a ruse is a line from the show. I employed a ruse. So the director, who knew I was full of shit, goes, Sal, what's a ruse? So I'm looking at it and I go, I don't know, a search party? Because he employed a ruse. He hired a ruse, not knowing, 15-year-old me, that a ruse is a plan. When you employ a ruse, it doesn't mean that you're hiring a plan. It means that you're putting forth a plan. You're putting a plan in action. And it completely revealed my shortcoming, my lack of knowledge,
because
my
you
lack
weren't
of
prepared,
experience.
right? You just
wasn't prepared.
Because everyone else is growing up into this field, into this world. You're just a good singer at this point. You make it because of your voice, but the preparation going into the part wasn't there.
Right.
So that taught you, didn't it?
This is something that's been a theme of my career, in fact. Getting demoted, because I wasn't kicked off the musical.
Yeah.
They just gave me a different
Like
part.
an understudy, right?
Right, basically. And they gave someone the role who had been in the theater program for, they gave someone the role who was in the theater program. I wasn't even in the theater program, and I went and auditioned for the musical. I knew about the audition from being in band class across the hall. So I get into the musical, and what happened was, even though I didn't star with that role, I learned so much. And the people who are on the production, the other actors, the production staff, the designers, the tech people, I became friends with because they taught me how to do it.
So in a way, this was eye-opening for you to take later on in life as well, right?
There's a lesson in business. It's do with those who do with those. It's an Italian saying, but in English, it's do with those who are better than you and pay their way. So in life, you'll find people who are better at you than what you do. The next move is not to be jealous and say, well, I got to make it. I got to get there. I got to get there. The next move is you become very close friends with those people. You learn what they eat for breakfast, which leg they put in their pants first. You learn everything about what they do.
And put in the work.
And you put in the work and you apply it to your life.
Yeah. Because
the biggest honor you can give to somebody is saying, I'm successful because of what I learned from you.
Absolutely.
Not because of something I did.
100.
You could have all the natural talent in the world. If you don't learn how to sharpen that edge, and it's like having a Ferrari and not having a license.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that you have the race car. If you don't know how to drive it, if you don't know how to use it, it's a waste.
That's the story of the world. I mean, you have so many talented people out there that they just rely on the talent, but don't put the work in. There's probably guys at Rutgers Park that can play in the NBA, but they just don't have the work ethic, the mindset.
Right.
So this is fascinating because you being a young kid at the time, most people wouldn't understand what you realized. You realize like, hey, listen, I might be a good singer, but I didn't have the work ethic to get to. I didn't have the knowledge yet. I didn't have the go-to. But so that was a game changer.
The director at the time, he's you could see him in a few different productions around the city now. His name was Christopher Tramontana, And I gave him a huge thank you at the wrap of the show for giving me that simpler role. Because what it allowed me to do was sit back, observe, and then in real time apply what I was learning to that role. And I ended up Cinderella's father, by the way.
So what
was
did you
drunk.
feel like though when you had this part to get knocked down? What did
I
you?
felt like a piece of shit.
But
I felt like an asshole.
But did you go home and say, "Mom, I want to quit," or would you talk to? Hey,
100%.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I didn't even tell my mom. I didn't tell my mom. My mom's a tough lady.
Yeah.
She grew up poor. She grew up working. She grew up, so, if I ever got like, B's or C's in school, it was like, come on.
Yeah.
I don't care that you pass. You could do better than that.
And if I got a B, they'd be celebrating in my
Right.
house.
So, and that's also great too. My mother was a hard ass for good reason too. She wanted us to be on the
best,
right
yeah.
track.
She wanted to give a better life that she had, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My mother is the child of immigrants. So for her, her American dream was my kids do better than I ever did.
Is she first family? Is she first American?
She's first generation
And so
American.
then the grandparents or your
My grandparents were born
Okay.
in Naples.
Okay, gotcha.
So which is a tough part of at the time a tough country to live in,
Yes.
post World War II Italy, and you're in you're basically the South Bronx of Italy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my mother, I didn't even tell my mother. I just kind of took it in. I decided the next day that I would take it in stride, because I had made some friends, like I said, in this theater world, who were like, Sal, this could be good. And basically, I turned this very small role with very few lines into kind of like the comedic relief of the show. It's a funny show, Into the Woods.
Yeah.
It's a spoof on all of the old, Brothers Grimm stories, and the Disney stories, Cinderella and Snow White and all that. So I was able to do a lot more with the role stepping back like that.
And what year is this in high school? Junior, senior?
This is my sophomore year.
Sophomore
So
year.
you're still
Okay.
15-ish.
So
This
fall-
all happened at the same time.
This is all the same year.
Yeah.
Summer of sophomore year, I find out in a horn lesson that I could sing. Fall of sophomore year, I have my first public performance during the football season with this Frank D'Ambrosio's Broadway. Spring is the musical.
Gotcha.
Wow.
It moved. I'm talking lightning speed.
So when you come out of sophomore year, what do you do that summer? Are you taking lessons? Are you saying, okay, this is the route I'm going to go now?
That summer, I decided like, okay, maybe I could give this a shot because I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Like this is
A
truly
different vibe of people too, right? So you're used to the
Different
jocks,
people.
and now you're in the entertainment with
right.
the art students.
It's different people. It's a different vibe altogether. A lot less ball breaking, a lot more like kumbaya and we're all friends. I was like, all right, maybe that's cool.
Yeah.
Right, high
What
school's
year is
kinda
this
brutal.
though? What year is this? High school's brutal, right?
2000. I graduated 2013, so this is 2011.
11. Okay, man,
Right?
what an age difference here.
How old are you?
I'm 48.
God bless you.
Thank you. A lot of Botox.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, a lot of Botox.
You didn't have to admit that. on the
I'm
air.
smiling right now. Look.
Oh, you're not
Good.
just happy to
No,
see me.
I'm happy.
All right,
to
all
see
right.
you. So okay, so you go to junior year. So what happens in junior year? Are you in another play? Are you
I'm
performing
more
now?
involved this time. I'm not doing football. I auditioned for the fall play. No music.
Yeah.
Just acting.
Acting.
Because I wanted to really sharpen this up. And I went, I got in, I got a great role. It was You Can't Take It With You. I played Anthony Kirby, which, if you ever seen The Birdcage, that movie The Birdcage,
Yeah, with Nick,
that's based on this play, You Can't Take It With You.
What's his name? The guy.
Robin Williams. Nathan Lane and Robin
Lane.
Williams.
Yeah, Nathan Lane.
So Nathan Lane and Robin Williams play a gay couple from Miami whose son is marrying a girl from a conservative family. and they're having like the first meeting, and they're putting on this whole show for this family, and this guy's very money conscious, and the whole point of the play is, no matter what persona you make for yourself in life, and no matter what money you make, and just know that when you die, that all stays here.
Yeah, and you can't take it.
You can't take it with you. In the end, it doesn't matter as much. That's not to discourage anyone in business from focusing on your bottom line, because at the end of the day, you don't take it with you, but your legacy lives with that.
Yeah.
Our parents fight to make us live a better life. We're in business so that our kids never have to think about things we thought about as kids. So that's not to discourage you. But anyway, I auditioned for it. I made it in. I made it all the way to production with the same role. I didn't get demoted. I researched the lines.
You studied. You prepared.
I prepared. And the difference that it made on
time.
opening night was palpable.
Wow.
And it was at this point in my life that I knew, okay, I'm going to at least try to put my best foot forward.
So when you're on stage, though, you feel comfortable now because of the preparation leading up to that? Or was there a lot of butterflies going into it?
Always butterflies.
Yeah.
It's always, today, it's butterflies.
Yeah.
Saturday night, I'm going to go on stage at the St. George Theater in Staten Island. And I'm going to be nervous up until probably the third tune.
Gotcha.
3 tunes in, I'm going to be thinking about the band, the charts, the timing, the crowd, the opening jokes, the icebreaker,
And then when you get into it, it's over.
I got a great icebreaker, though.
All right, tell us.
I sing a couple songs. This time I need a drink of water. So I raise my drink to the crowd, and I go, Cendani. Cendani. Cento anni is an Italian wish for 100 years of good health. However, my audience is not just Italians. It's Italians and Jews. Because who wrote this music?
The Jews.
The Jews.
Yeah.
Right? The Italians, sure. Frank Sinatra made it popular. But the Jews wrote the music. Irving Berlin, Eddie Cantor, that's who made this music. So I'll go, any of Mishpucha in the house tonight? I'll get some cheers. And I'll say, what do you guys say? They'll go, L'chaim.
Chaim.
What does that mean, L'chaim? Because now I've taught them what Cendani means. Usually people think it's Chindan. It's not. It's Cento-ani. What does that mean? And they'll go, life. I go, oh, wow. What a coincidence. I got an uncle at Sing Sing doing L'chaim. There's something he didn't do, right?
And then do you break out and Fiddler on the Roof?
No. If I would have itched back. No. But like corny stuff like that.
I got a guy in Sing Sing to live, doing live. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And that's what makes me more comfortable.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Now that we're on this subject, I was with a very famous KTU DJ, Z100 and KTU DJ, guy named Goomba Johnny. Goomba Johnny was one of the most popular DJs in New York for almost 20 years. He was on the radio. He's a great stand-up comedian, and I got to sit and chat with him yesterday. And we were talking about the first time we met was at the Friars Club. Friars Club, for those of you who don't know, it's on 55th between Madison and 5th. It's a 70-year-old club. It was a house. It was a monastery that was bought by Jackie Gleason and what's his name? Jerry.
Not Lewis, right?
Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis.
Yeah. It was bought by a collection of entertainers and artist managers and agents back in the 50s. And it was kind of like a private club and a hangout. And I mean, up until this day, it's still...
Yeah, the Friars Club, yeah.
It's still the Friars Club.
Yeah.
The famous Friars Club, roasts and everything. They're having an Italian night. And of course, they want me to headline it. And they have comedians and other singers. And, Goomba Johnny gets up. And Goomba Johnny's a very, very funny stand-up. And these guys in the front, it's towards the end of the night. So these guys in the front, the Wall Street guys, they are hammered. They are tanked. They're heckling every comedian.
Oh man.
They're like every singer that goes up there, they're like telling a story about the song. And this song was, originally performed by so and so. And my connection is that my aunt's sister's cousins, first college roommate, was very friendly with the producer on this record. Nobody gives a fuck, right?
Yeah.
So these guys are going in. They're having a grand old time heckling these people. Goomba Johnny gets up there, and Goomba Johnny's great with crowd work. He gives it right back to him. And these guys are just being total pains in the ass. But he does his set, and it's a great set. He makes it through. And then he introduces me. And I get up on stage, and this guy in the front row goes, "Who the fuck is this guy?" We can curse on this, right? "Who the fuck is this guy?" And I look at him and I go, "I'm the fucking headliner."
Wow.
The place erupts.
Wow.
It's those very real moments because you're on stage,
Yeah.
right? Very often, stage performers will turn it into a recital where it's song after song and there's a story and the audience is very polite and they sit there. However, my demographic is, old school people, and Italian Americans who are the most vocal people on planet Earth. So that comfortability on stage, that comfort comes from the reaction with the crowd.
It changed everything, right?
That guy would have turned anyone's stomach over. For me, it was like, all right, now we're having a good time. Now we're all friends.
Let's get this show
now
started.
we've gotten that part over with.
Yeah. Exactly.
New York is probably the only city on planet Earth where you drop your wallet, all right? And some guy picks it up. "Excuse me, sir, did you drop your wallet?" "I didn't fucking drop my wallet. Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
You know what? I'm taking the wallet. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
It's true.
So Dean Martin, you love Dean Martin?
Love Dean Martin.
But do you like Lewis and Martin? Or
Of course.
Martin and Lewis? You like, so yeah, I love
because
that
of
era.
that dynamic.
Yeah.
Because there's that very real, very fun. In the end, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis couldn't stand each other.
Yeah, they had a falling out. But they're both geniuses, though. That was the thing.
Right.
They were both geniuses in their own realm.
Because it was real.
It was real, man.
It was genuine.
And Jerry Lewis was a huge. Jerry Lewis was he's a genius. He was a great businessman. When he wrote, he did the what was the retake on the Eddie Murphy movie when Eddie Murphy did the Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
There was certain movies that the studios wouldn't make, and he said, "You know what? I'll make it. I'll own the rights." And when the movie was super successful, he owned all of it.
Right.
So his family got the money and the money.
Always a back end type guy.
But they never had. Yeah, they started together, and then Martin went his way. Obviously, Lewis went his way.
Well, Jerry Lewis, that was the idea behind the Friars Club.
He was the guy.
Was to
behind it?
bring. Listen, he got tired of meeting, at different places for lunch. To find these guys who were making the deals.
Yeah.
He brought the guys who were making the deals to him. He said, "We're going to have all the entertainers come and hang out at this club. And we'll have a restaurant on the first floor, and we'll have a bar."
So it was like Soho House before Soho House.
Soho
basically.
House. It was. New York City doesn't have country clubs. We don't have golf courses. We have these social clubs like Soho House. And that's where these things happen. That's where movers and shakers go to let loose, to have a drink. But you're also meeting people in your industry.
Yeah.
And Jerry Lewis is very keen on those type of deals.
Yeah.
'Cause he knew that he wasn't gonna be the A guy.
Yeah.
He knew that was tough.
He had to make it for himself.
He had to make himself. He goes, "Well, I'm not going to be the A guy, so I'm going to be the guy that hires the A guy. I'm going to be the guy that decides who the A guy is, and I'll make myself the B guy because I know what to give that guy to make this an incredible performance." In other words, Dean Martin is the superstar.
Yeah.
I'm a star, but Dean Martin is the superstar. At the time in the 60s. Late 50s and 60s, Jerry Lewis's star is kind of dwindling. So I'm going to bring Dean Martin in.
But this was earlier, I think. Maybe I think they probably started in the 40s or 50s.
This is the 50s.
50s.
All these variety shows gained popular in the 50s because it was kind of, you got to think about it. It was these guys were the Justin Biebers of the 40s, right? Then in the 50s comes rock and roll. Jerry Lewis kind of has a little bit of a heyday there, but it's going away. By the 60s, these guys are in Vegas.
Yeah, the Rat Pack. So now
Right.
Dean Martin connects with.
By the 60s, they're a destination act in Vegas.
Yeah.
They're not touring clubs anymore. So what's the next thing but these shows? And Jerry Lewis knew I could write for this guy, right? I could work the puppet and turn this into a hit show, and that's what he did.
He was a genius.
He was an absolute genius.
So let's take it back a little bit. So so when you get out of high school, right? So you get out of high school. What's the move there? What's your plan?
My senior year, I was working, and at the time I was driving a Cadillac. I was working for my cousin's pizzeria.
Like Big Tommy's Cadillac, one of those Cadillacs.
A little newer than that.
Yeah,
but still a boat.
Like an 8 in the 90s?
I saw a picture of it online. I think
it was an STS.
Okay.
Which was like the 5 series of Cadillacs.
What year is this? In 2000s?
This was
a newer spotty
2012.
Style. Okay, so you get out of high school and then
it's my senior year.
Yeah.
I'm working and delivering pizza in a Cadillac is the most counterproductive thing you could do.
So
like there's no bigger waste of money.
Who owns the pizza shop?
Not Tommy, a different cousin.
It's a different cousin. Okay.
Yeah, different cousin. I always equate Italians in New York to Armenians in California and Jews in South Florida. We run
the pizza.
We run all the small businesses. Whether it's mechanic, body shop, pizzeria, concrete, fencing. We run all the small businesses.
Yeah.
The same thing in Florida with my Jewish friends and in California with my Armenian friends. We got the lock on it. So you always know somebody's got something going on.
Yeah.
And pizzerias sound the most attractive to me because it was centered around food, something I absolutely love, if you couldn't tell. So I needed something to kind of pad out my income. My Uncle Joe had a friend who had a restaurant who was looking for a singer for Thursday nights for 3 hours, 45-minute sets. He paid $100
for the night.
For the night.
Okay, and you're 18 at this.
Night.
You're 18 at this point.
And I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty great. I don't have to beat on my caddy, make $100. Hope maybe get some tips. And I fell in love with it. I built a following
through this one night on Thursday night.
Through this Thursday night. Thursday nights became Thursday and Saturday.
But are you still delivering pizzas at this point?
I'm still. So the reason why it became Thursday and Saturday is because Friday nights, Catholics have a season called Lent where we don't eat meat on Fridays.
Yeah.
And Friday nights become the most popular night in New York to get pizza.
Pizza history, right?
So I would make like $700 delivering
Driving
pizza.
In your Cadillac.
In the caddy.
Wow.
Bombing
With the
around
pizza
the
sign
north.
on? Do you have a pizza sign on the
No,
caddy?
hell no. Are you kidding me? White diamond tricoat. I'm not messing up that paint.
All right.
No. So I started singing on the Thursday nights, and after a year, my Uncle Joe, who would come most every Thursday, Saturday night and sit at the bar, he said, listen, American Idol, the Ryan Seacrest show, is coming to the Nassau Coliseum in a couple weeks. It might be something you want to think about, which means you're going to do it because I got you this gig.
So you owe me this,
Right. You owe me at least to try this. And again, I'm not taking it seriously. I'm thinking, come on, American Idol is a popularity contest.
Yeah.
I don't fit in skinny jeans, right? He said, no, fuck that. You go as you. You be you. Wow. And I guarantee you they're going to like you so much. Now, he started out in merchant cash advance.
Oh, wow.
And at the time he was selling insurance, he was selling annuities for Prudential at the RXR Plaza in Hempstead.
Wow.
So literally across the street from the Nassau Coliseum. I don't know. Where are you from?
I'm from Las Vegas originally.
You're from Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
I moved here close to 40.
Okay.
This was my dream, you know.
So you have this big office building across from where the New York Islanders were playing at the time.
They don't play there anymore, right?
They don't play there. They play at UBS, a beautiful arena. And so he goes, I think they're going to like you so much that if they don't put you on TV, if they don't at least give you an audition, I'll let you have my Range Rover for the rest of the summer.
Wow.
And I was like, absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's do it. Right? I was the first person online.
First person, like
I was the front of the line.
Like
I got there
spend the
4
night
o'clock
there?
in the morning.
Gotcha. So you were the first person that showed
I got up, got a big cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Went down there, parked real close. Was the first person at the door
Wow.
because I wanted to get it over with. To be honest
But
with
what are
you.
you thinking at the time? Are you thinking like, hey, I kind of want this to work? I mean, I'm just going for the Range Rover, but in deep down, you want to get chosen, right? Of course.
At the time,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you know, boy, am I glad I didn't get my car washed because it's going to be really, really great to hand him the keys to a dirty ass car and take his Range Rover out because I was right. That's what I was thinking about.
Wow. So you're thinking like
Again, wrong
you're thinking-
mindset.
Yeah, wrong mindset.
Wrong mindset. However, I was so confident
Yeah.
that I was just there to show that it doesn't matter how great a voice you have.
They'll choose you.
They won't choose you unless you do pop music or, you know, the Beatles or something like that because they have a show to sell. I sang Cry Me a River, not the Justin Timberlake Cry Me a River, song that Julie London made popular. Now you say you love me. Well, just to prove that you do, why don't you cry me a river? Cry me a river. I cried a river over you. Right?
Are you in front of Simon singing that though? Are you
No,
in front
this
of
is
the
in
judges?
front of some producers.
So the producers get you to the next level, right?
Right.
If you pass them, then you go.
If you pass them,
Yeah.
then you sit with someone who gets your story.
Gotcha.
Then if you pass them, then the next day you go to executive producers. Then if you pass them, you get a call to show up for the taped audition
Gotcha.
in front of the celebrity judges, which at the time was Jennifer Lopez, Harry Connick Jr., and Keith Urban.
So Simon's gone at this point.
Simon's gone
I
at this
know
point.
American Idol early. When he left, I think
This is Simon at this point. This is 2015.
So he's AGT now.
Simon is BGT. Simon's not even in
he's
the
Britain.
country
Okay,
anymore.
he's in Britain.
He tried to get X Factor to stick in the U.S.
It
and
happened
it
a couple
didn't.
seasons.
It did a couple seasons and then it went away.
I'm a Simon fan, man.
Right, me too.
I like Simon.
Me too, and I'll tell you why when we get to him.
So where do you get on? So where do you go? So do you get
I
past
go-
the producer?
I sing. They asked the 3 people who were with me. Now I've spent a day with all of these musicians, not just theater kids anymore. It's all these musicians.
These are dreamers, man. These are people that want this.
And I got to tell you, sitting amongst them really was like, oh,
This is serious.
this is serious.
This is more than a Range Rover.
This could happen. If this could happen for one of these momos, this could happen. I sang "Cry Me a River." You're in a panel of 4 people. You're with 3 other auditioners, and the 3 of them were told to step back. And I'm thinking, okay, this is the part where they ask me to go home, and these 3 go on to the next level. And I turn quickly. So they step back, and I turn quickly to someone who's in the next audition line who I was sitting next to. And I said, hey, good luck, man. I'll see you around.
Thinking that you're going home, right?
And I turned back, and they go, and they take this yellow piece of paper, and they say, congratulations.
Wow.
And I said, no fucking way.
Wow.
Now I'm with a story producer.
So this is American Idol, right?
American
Okay,
Idol. Now
gotcha.
I'm with a story
Okay.
producer who says, why are you here today? I said, I'll be honest with you. I came on a bet, and it looks like I'm losing. She said, what do you mean you're losing the bet? You're about to be on American Idol. You know, this is the big show. It had 12 seasons or 15 seasons at the time, whatever
This
it was.
was the biggest show in the world.
This was the
too.
biggest
Yeah,
show in
this
the
was
world.
biggest show.
And it's
Yeah.
network. And I'm going, yeah, my uncle made me a bet. I told them about it. And they said, oh, my God, that's great. And they moved me on to the executive producer round. And the executive producers were like, can you sing this? Can you sing this? And I did it.
They're picking songs for you to sing.
Right.
Okay.
At this point, and they're kind of like, wow, this kid knows what he's doing.
But
when
are
it
they
comes to
taking
the
you out of your?
standards.
Are they taking you out of your realm? Are they having you sing something? You know that.
The only thing they made me sing was "So Sick" by Neo.
Oh God, I'm so sick of love songs. That was a good song though.
You know, but you could
Yeah.
you could class that up a bit. You know, gotta change my answering machine now that I'm alone, 'cause right now it says that we can't come to the phone. And I know it makes no sense. And like really
it's
like
a great song, you know.
it's
that?
a great
It is a great
tune.
song.
So they bring me to the live auditions, the in-person auditions. And
But you're not in front of the judges yet, right?
I'm in front. Now, this is a couple months later. I'm in
Okay,
front of the
okay.
judges.
So there's a process here.
There is a
Okay,
process.
Okay, so you didn't
all
just-
these shows
okay,
is a
okay,
process.
Gotcha.
Even
Okay.
America's Got
Okay.
Talent, there was a process. I get to the taped audition, and automatically Harry Connick Jr. looks at me up and down. And Harry Connick Jr. is one of these guys again. Who
Yeah.
put in his 10,000 hours.
Do you
know,
love him? Do you like him? Did he inspire you growing up? Because
love
he's
Harry Connick
he's a rare bird too. You know,
Maybe not growing up
Yeah.
as much as now being involved more with the technical side of things and the musical
Yeah.
side of things. I'm kind of like my own musical director now.
Yeah.
When I'm on the road, now I have so much more of an appreciation for the genius that is Harry Connick Jr.
Does he write his own stuff? Is he a writer?
Harry Connick Jr.'s first album was called 11. You know why? He was 11 years old when he wrote and arranged it.
So he's a prodigy.
He's a prodigy.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he looks me up and down in my suit. You know, this Goomba from Long Island. He says, "What the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah. And then you open your mouth,
He
right?
says, "What song are you singing for us today?" And I said, "Fly Me to the Moon." He goes, "I'll give you $100 if you could tell me the real name of that song." Because like I said before, this music was written by Jewish American writers who were writing for Broadway at the time.
Yeah.
So Fly Me to the Moon is actually a song from a musical. And the name of the song in the musical is In Other Words. So if you look at Fly Me to the Moon on any album that Sinatra ever did it on, you'll see in parentheses, In Other Words.
In other words.
Because that's the real name of the song.
In other words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name of the song.
Wow.
Right.
So did you get the 100?
I got the $100, and he's about to give it to me, and he goes, "Double or nothing if you could tell me the words in the verse." Which the words in the verse, poets often use many things to say a simple thing. It takes time and song and time and something in rhyme to make a poem sing. With music, blah, blah, blah. If you ever listen to Tony Bennett version of "Fly Me to the Moon," he does the verse in the end. It's actually a beautiful version. Does it?
He's
like
still
a
alive,
ballad.
Right? He's still alive? Tony Bennett?
Yeah, he's still
Yeah,
alive. He's
kicking,
not
huh?
performing anymore.
Yeah,
he's just
still
retired.
kicking. Yeah, he's 90s now, huh?
I think he's going senile, fortunately.
So you
but
got 200 out of Harry. You got
You got the
$200.
$200.
I said, I didn't know the words in the verse, so I rather than say I'll take the bet or rather than make a guess, I said, I'll stick with the 100. And he gives me $100 on television.
You still have it?
No,
No, you don't keep it? All right.
hell no. I think I spent it that afternoon, right?
Pizza shop, right? The
Yeah,
first
exactly. I
100
think I bought everybody lunch because what ended up happening is I got a golden ticket to Hollywood.
Wow.
I called my Uncle Joe.
But what's that feeling like? So you get the golden ticket. Are they
Incredible.
filming you?
They're
Are you
filming me.
So you're
I'm like, this is
dancing?
nuts.
Are you doing the dance with the?
Yeah,
you know,
this is it's all on YouTube, by the way. It's all on YouTube.
Yeah.
It lives forever. Especially this next part, which is probably the defining moment of my career as a personality over a musician. My Uncle Joe, I call him up. I say, "Uncle Joe, guess what, Joe? I'm going to Hollywood." He goes, "Yeah, that's fantastic. What'd you say to J-Lo?" I go, "What do you mean? What did I say to J-Lo? I sang for J-Lo." And he says, No. What? You didn't say nothing to J-Lo? You were 10 feet away from Jennifer Lopez, and you didn't say nothing to her. I go, what am I supposed to say to J-Lo? He says, shoot your shot. She's a single woman. You're a single guy. You're over 18. Look at Leonardo DiCaprio. Stranger shit happens. Now we're in California at the Orpheum Theater. It's Hollywood Week. And Harry, there's a break and they're shooting some B-roll, and Harry Connick Jr. turns around to this crowd of mostly like yuppies and very singer-songwriter-y type people. A lot of them have made tremendous success. People will know Jax, Jax. I know Victoria's Secret. Boy, you wouldn't believe she's an old man who lives in Ohio.
You know this? Yeah.
Very, very popular
yeah.
TikTok songwriter. She was on my season of American Idol.
Wow.
Yeah. we became fast friends on that too. Wonderful, wonderful artist. But anyway, Harry Connick Jr. turns around. He goes, Jennifer's cold. She's shivering. Does anybody have any suggestions? So you had to hear these guys, Brian.
Oh, wow.
Get her a blanket. Turn the heat up.
And then you're thinking Uncle Joe right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking, oh, shit. If I don't say something, he's going to start rumors about me in the neighborhood. Like, you know. I stand up. And I go, Jennifer, I got a nice wool coat, but it's back in my hotel room. And I ain't from around here, so I'm going to need a ride.
Jenny from the block.
She goes, how old are you? I said, doesn't matter. It's just like the music that I sing, your beauty is timeless.
Wow.
Oh, like baby shit, smooth, you know? The next day I got kicked off the show.
Oh, man. Uncle Joe.
I still think to this day that I'm the first guy in Hollywood ever to be Me Too'd.
So do you get the Range Rover now?
So I come home. Well, no, because I lost that bet.
Yeah.
And I should have parlayed. You're right.
Yeah.
I come home. I call my uncle. I say, Uncle Joe, I think I'm done with this. This was fun, but maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's not for people like us.
But do you feel like quitting music, period, now? Because is this like a...
Really?
It was like another moment.
Wow.
Like listen, my parents are old school. You tell old school people, like, hey, I'm thinking of a career in music. They say, get the fuck out of here.
Like, get to the pizza shop.
Yeah. Get back to college. I was going to St. John's at the time in Queens. Get back to school. Make something of yourself. What are you going to do? Stand in an audition line for hours? For what? Come on. It's not practical.
Yeah.
If you don't make it like that, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Basically. And I didn't believe in myself. And that's another big...
You don't believe in yourself going through the process?
That's another big part of not taking it seriously and not preparing, is not believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Part of preparing is growing a pair of balls, is getting some confidence. Because even the guy who's prepared, who's over-prepared, if he doesn't show up knowing what he's doing, and believing that he knows what he's doing, and believing he's the right guy for the job, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, and if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will.
Some guy with half the experience and half the prep, but double the confidence is going to get the position over you because he's got double the confidence. Because he walks in swinging.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that on American Idol. My Uncle Joe told me, he goes, Sal, this isn't the end. This is only the beginning.
Yeah, and he's right. He was right.
He was right.
So then where does this? So how do we get to the AGT?
This is Halloween 2015.
Okay.
Just before Thanksgiving. Now my uncle is someone I would talk to almost every day.
Is he still alive? Is Uncle Joe still alive? Is he around?
A guy I would talk to almost every day.
Okay.
And just before Thanksgiving, I'm on the phone with him. Man, I got this crazy back pain. Go see a doctor. Go see a doctor. Go see a doctor. A lot of guys, especially guys in business, especially guys in sales, any type of sales, whether it's the merchant cash advance industry, insurance,
finance,
whatever it is, finance, who are afraid of doctors because they're afraid of being benched.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear some bad news that's going to keep them from hustling. So he didn't go to a doctor until it was way too late.
Sorry, man.
He had a stomach ulcer, which is a very popular ailment for people in sales. It's a very stressful business, very high tension, very high energy. You know, a lot of coffee, a lot of alcohol.
A lot of drugs,
yeah. He got a stomach ulcer. He was taking like a leave. You know, NSAIDs are very bad for your stomach. Anything that's like an NSAID pain reliever, which is non-steroidal, I don't know what, the anti-inflammatory drugs. I think that's what they stand for. He had an ulcer that he exacerbated by taking a leave. It ended up getting infected. He went to Booth Memorial in Queens the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and he never came out.
Wow.
A week later, he passed away, 45 years old.
Sorry, man. It happens like that, doesn't it?
Happens like that.
Fuck. My parents just died like that. One died, 8 days later, my mom died. Like,
So
like
sorry.
that. Yeah, it's life, you know.
Yeah.
It's life.
And
but
that was like that was even more of a, you'd think it was like, wow, now I got to go for this. This is the guy that believed in me when I didn't. Mm-hmm. It was more like, well, there goes my coach.
Yeah.
There goes my guy, because he was a heavy guy too, but he was super confident.
He loved you.
He loved
believed
me,
in
yeah.
you. Yeah, he believed in you. Yeah.
I loved him too, and it was devastating to our entire family. I went back to school.
Wow.
However,
this is 2015.
This is
right?
2015.
Gotcha.
This is sorry, this is 2014.
2014.
January of 2015, American Idol airs. I made it to 3 episodes of American Idol because I only made it to Hollywood Week. However, those 3 episodes, I was on television 6 times. That is a big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't know at the time how big of a deal it would be.
Yeah.
My phone started ringing of people trying to get in touch with me to hire me for little things, weddings, private parties, that type of thing. Now, I'm delivering pizza a little less. I'm down to the 1 day a week.
But is it kind of fascinating though? You're getting these calls. Look, now people are interested in me.
Now people are interested in
Yeah.
me.
Like you're walking down the street and it's, oh, I saw you in American Idol. Was it like that?
I buy a few suits. Yeah, I started
Yeah.
getting recognized. I buy a few suits. They put me on local news. I was on Fox in New York.
Long Island, right?
Rosanna Scotto. At the time, Greg Kelly, who was the son of Police Commissioner Ray Kelly. Very, very cool for me. I got invited to dinners at Rayo's with like Bo Dietl and all these like New York type guys. And about a year to the day that my uncle passed away, I get a phone call from a casting producer from NBC. Is this Sal Valentinetti? Yeah. Where'd you get this number? Someone suggested we call you to we check you out online. We saw some of your stuff. We love what you do. We have a hot judge too. Referring to Heidi Klum.
Heidi, yeah.
And they said, listen, we just have one condition. We need an a cappella video of you singing within the next 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, Jesus, 20 minutes.
Is this iPhone era yet? Are you?
This is iPhone era. This is early iPhone
Gotcha.
era.
So you could pull it up, okay?
Right. This is early iPhone era, but at the time, I believe I still had a BlackBerry Bold.
Gotcha.
So not great with videos. Tommy had an iPhone.
Yeah.
Big time Tommy had an iPhone. I called him. I said, Tommy, they want this video from AGT. They don't believe it's me singing. He goes, come to the cigar lounge right now. So I go to the cigar lounge. He's in there. He goes, I fucking can't believe these people. Who the fuck they think they are getting a video from you? This is like almost like the wise guy mentality. Like
they don't see you on American Idol.
Right. How could they not believe us? We vouch for you. How could if we vouch for you, that means everything. That's gospel, right? So he does the video. I sang The Good Life. It's the good life, full of fun, seems to be the ideal. Try to get show the range off a little bit. He takes this 30-second video, and at the end of it, turns it around and goes, how you doing? This is Big Time Tommy. I just want to vouch. That was Sal The Voice singing. No background, no music, no nothing. All him.
Send.
A lot of people think I gave myself that name, Sal The Voice.
Yeah.
I didn't. It was given to me by my friends I was hanging out with because there was so many Sals. There was Sal the Undertaker, Sally Bread, and I was the singer of Sal The Voice.
There's a million Sals in Long Island, right?
I send this video. Oh, for sure. I send this video. Maybe a minute later, I get a phone call from that same casting producer. Sal, who is that man at the end of the video?
Yeah.
I said, well, that's Tommy. Who is Tommy to you? Is he your father? I said, no, he's my cousin.
Are you guys really cousins or
no?
No, just bad good.
That
friends,
is a term that Italian Americans will use to refer their friends to businesses. Like if I send you to Carbone, I'll say, ask for Ricky. Tell him you're my cousin.
Yeah.
Because if you tell him you're a friend of mine, you know how many people are friends of mine who I've maybe had 2 conversations with? But if you're my cousin, if you're my family, That's a big deal, especially to Italians. That's a big deal. Because even first, second, third cousins, we're all very close in Italian-American families. So I say, yeah, it's my cousin Tommy. Well, what does he do? What do you mean? What's his job? I said, well, he's a fresh air inspector. What do you mean? What does he mean? What is it? Which is a joke. But they don't understand that. So he works for the government? I said, well, definitely not. I said, well, I guess, well, he's the president of the Cadillac Club of Long Island. He's the president of this local car club. And they said, oh, my God, wait. They put me on hold. They take me off hold. And they say, hi, okay, you're with a couple more of us now. Can you just tell us what Big Time Tommy does again? Or Cousin Tommy does again? He's the president of the Cadillac Club of Long Island. A roaring laugh. They don't believe that Tommy exists. Previously, they didn't believe that I exist. Now they really don't believe that Tommy exists. They go, oh my God, it is real. And they have us come down to Queens College, Main Street off Casino Park in Queens, off the LIE. And we walk into the first producer. And this is when I knew the fate was sealed, because Tommy is he's like a secret weapon. He's got such a unique personality and way about him. He really is old school. A lot of people are put off by Tommy because he's a bit of a cartoon character almost, the way he looks. But that's all very real.
But he's made for TV.
He really is. He walks in, and this producer, Alexa Keene, and I will never forget her because she was my producer throughout the whole show. And she really taught me everything I needed to know to be prepared. But this was the first time I was meeting her. We walk in, and she goes, Sal, I'm only going to need 10 minutes of your time. And Tommy goes, ha, that's 9 minutes longer than he usually needs. And the reaction was unbelievable. She goes, oh my God, that is the best thing I've heard all day. You know, Sal, if you could sing, I think we have something here. And I went up, I sang Mac the Knife.
I sang My Way. Is this in front of just the producers at
this
the
is
point?
just a junior producer.
Okay, gotcha.
Not even the executive producer.
She was big to you, right?
However, she was integral.
Gotcha.
She was an integral part of my entire career. If it wasn't for Alexa Keene writing everything down that we said, basically everything, and having a total freak out to the executive producers, you guys got to meet these guys. This is tremendous. This is the next big thing. This is the nucleus of our whole next season.
Yeah.
And mind you, this is also Simon Cowell's inaugural season.
This is his first season?
This is his first season of America's Got Talent. This is his first year back in the States.
Does he own the show? Is he the?
He's one of the owners of the show.
Okay, gotcha.
Psycho Entertainment owns the Got Talent franchise, the X Factor, and I believe he still has a piece of American Idol. So
when you dropped Mac the Knife on them in that moment, were you already in your flow state, or was this one of those scenarios where you're like, by the third track, I got in my groove? Or
This is when they're.
But I'm saying when you're with Tommy and you sing and Mac the
I'm
Knife.
a little less nervous because Tommy is there.
So it's just you're in it,
almost like Tommy is my protection.
You feel comfortable. He's
so
a
you
rock.
didn't need 3-song warm up per se because he's there with you. You're ready to go.
I had been talking all day. Me and Tommy. That's the thing. When I'm hanging out with my friends, I'm loose. We're breaking balls. I'm telling jokes. You know, not anymore. But we're hitting on girls walking by. It's a very loose feeling. It's good. It's natural. So to just walk up and sing is a different story.
And do you see, like, I guess they're all, the environment set with Tommy there, you're there with them, and then can you see their reactions instantly when you start singing? They're like, oh, fuck, we hit
And now that I've
prize.
done a television show, and like the way they reacted when I stood up on American Idol and talked to J-Lo was they ran cameras over to me.
Yeah.
So now I know, okay, this is good. And it's all real. It's not like we're making anything up. This is how we are. This is how we live. So it's like, all right, let me just roll with this. And immediately I knew it was going well. I was still a little nervous, of course, as you should be, because now I know the brevity of the situation. Now I know what could happen to me if I make it on this show. And so we go to the story producer, we go to the executive producers, and now America's Got Talent is a little different. You don't hear from them for a couple of months.
So
This was November.
So this is like a high, right? And then it kind of levels out for a minute.
Then I get a call in February, early February. Hey, you're coming out next month to California to audition in front of the judges.
Wow.
And I was like, boy, that's tremendous.
Is this this is a better feeling than the American Idol?
This is a way
right?
different feeling.
It's
this,
like this
is
feels
like,
different.
okay, I got to have my shit together because this could be it. This could be what turns something I love to do into a career.
Now, is her name Alexa?
Alexa.
Is she keeping in touch with you in these 2
She's
months?
with me every step of the way.
After you leave for those 2 months where there's a little bit of silence.
She meets me back in California.
Okay.
She's the first person I see when I get to the Sheraton
Gotcha.
in Pasadena, which is attached to the Pasadena Civic Center, which is where those audition episodes are taped. And she's with me every step of the way, making sure that I'm comfortable. You know, we had a one producer who was sitting us down for an interview. They call it a confessional, and he was like, "Sal, give us a bada bing, bada boom." I got pissed off. I was like, "What the fuck?" This guy was from Ireland. I go. You know what? How about this? You know what? An Irish 7-course meal. I'm gonna take you out for an Irish 7-course meal after this. He goes, "What's that?" I said, 6-packet of potato. Go fuck yourself. Bada bing, bada boom. This isn't the fucking Sopranos. This is real life, pal. And Tommy hears me getting hot, so he walks over. He goes, "Is there a fucking problem over here?" Now they see like, oh boy, this isn't like some act. Yeah. This is real. You know, these guys come from a real place. This is a real thing. And Alexa basically briefed everyone. Let them be them, because they're going to give you whatever you need to make your show. Don't push it. They're going to give you what you need. And Tommy was great with Nick Cannon. Tommy smoked these Asylum 13 cigars, which, by the way, get your limited edition Big Time Tommy cigar from asylum13.com today. Tommy smoked these big. They're 8 by 80 gauge, so they're 8-inch by 80 gauge. Huge. They call them gorilla fingers. They're huge cigars. And he gives one to Nick Cannon, because Nick Cannon smokes cigars. And they're hanging out backstage the whole time.
Is this before you're going on?
This is before I'm going on. All I did was think about my uncle and what he said.
Yeah.
You know, be yourself. You know, wear a suit. Be the guy.
It's almost comforting, right? You feel like he's there. He's watching you. He's there. I got it.
And Tommy said, do exactly that, but do whatever the fuck you want to do. Don't let these people tell you what you got to do.
What was the moment like when? Because this is where I first find you. I'm watching America. I'm at home.
Is that
watching,
first audition?
I'm watching the first show. Yep. I remember this like yesterday, because Tommy is the character. He's memorable. You're a different kind of breed because you're singing something totally different that not a lot of people are singing. So when you come out, you're like, you like, this guy's done this before. That's the feeling. The confidence that you had coming out.
It was the biggest crowd I've ever performed in front of live.
What was the feeling 30 seconds before you get on that stage?
Total nerves.
Total nerves.
Nervous wreck.
You didn't show it.
Can't breathe right. I've never had a panic attack before in my life, but you know, my heart's racing. I'm thinking, shoo, this is a moment. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna say? What are they gonna say? You know, what if they don't like me? What do I get it? You know, do I pick up an attitude? Am I grateful? Like, what do I do? And I said, well, let me just give them me. I'll turn it up to 11, big energy, get the crowd going. You know, they've been sitting there all day.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. You want it to come across to the television audience that the crowd is going nuts for you. But they've been sitting there for 7 fucking hours in a hot theater in Pasadena, in the Valley. Most of these people are on vacation in California.
Yeah.
They're coming to see AGT because they love the show. They're staying in Hollywood. They've driven 45 minutes to the middle of the Valley, You're a West Coast
45
guy.
minutes if the traffic isn't if you're not in traffic.
Right. It's 45 minutes to go 6 miles.
Yeah.
Right. It's hot. It's a hot day in March. It's they're uncomfortable. How the hell are you gonna get a reaction out of these people? I walk out and they cheer, and I go like, "Come on!" Like they don't even know who the hell I am, what I'm about to do. There's no props. There's no stage set up. It's a red X, and it's me with a black shirt, black pants, black shoes.
Yeah.
Right? I look like a waiter or a valet. Right? You know, like, and I walk out, and I just had a very natural exchange with these celebrities.
Yeah.
With Howie Mandel and Heidi Klum and Mel B and Simon Cowell. Because I knew from experience in the restaurants, experience in performing in front of small crowds at parties. At this point, I had done, Long Island is famous for The Great Gatsby, which is a tale of the North Shore of Long Island, the Gold Coast of Long Island.
Yeah.
Very, very wealthy people. At this point, I had been performing in a steakhouse, and I got a lot of wealthy clients who did these little parties where they basically have a party, have a dinner party, where they'd bring in a chef to their house, make them a whole dinner, and then have a private performance. And I would be in front of 20 people, which is super awkward, and have to entertain them and come up with sticky jokes.
And you can hear them talking. Hey,
Stuff like that. So I'm already used to like, all right, you got to have some sort of interaction with the crowd, like that guy at the Friars Club. Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Right? So I went out there, had that reaction. I said, all right, now all I got to do is the thing I love the most. This is the easy part. And I sang My Way.
My Way.
And it's very important that I sang that song, especially that verse, because they cut the song short. It's 90 seconds. They cut it down to 90 seconds. It's a 5-minute song. And the end of the song goes, for what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has naught. To say the things he truly feels and not the words of one who kneels. That's what it is to do things your way. And Paul Anka wrote those words. Those words are so true. You can spend your whole life pretending to be somebody else. Put on a facade, put on a face, put on an act. But people in general are keen to bullshit. And they're going to figure you out eventually. You might waste an entire life being somebody you're not before they do.
Wow.
And that's a waste of a life. So those words in that song are so important. And as soon as I hit it, I felt my uncle's spirit in me.
Wow.
I felt the crowd stood up. If you watch the audition video back, the crowd stands up before the song is over. They jump to their feet. When I hit that, for what is a man, what has he got? If not himself, then he has not. To say the things he truly feels and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I faced the blows, I did it my way. Yeah. The crowd is already on their feet. There's a moment in life when, I've heard this from musicians and actors. I've heard it from doctors. I've heard it from lawyers. There's a moment in life where it hits you like a ton of bricks. It's an affirmation. It's a life-affirming moment. This is what I was born to do. This is what I'm going to do every day for the rest of my life, no matter what.
You knew that then, on that
I
moment.
said, at that moment in my head, I don't give a fuck what these judges have to say. Whatever they have to say is great. If I don't get on the show, I don't get on the show. But this is what I got to be doing. This is what I was born for. This is what I was made for.
That's amazing.
And that obviously translated to the judges. Simon Cowell said something that stuck with me. If you're going to do this music, it's got to be in you or it's not. And you're an old soul. You're there. Yeah. You're the guy. Heidi Klum gave me a golden buzzer. And a lot of people tend to think that that's set up. And it might be. I don't know. But for the last 7 years, this is 7 years ago. Yeah. And I still have a career off of that. For the last 7 years, Heidi Klum has kept in touch regularly.
Wow.
She's come to shows with her husband Tom.
So you guys
She's
are
had,
friends.
she's
You're
had
friends.
we're friends. We have me and my wife John at her Halloween party in downtown. You know, it resonated.
There was a connection there you could see.
She hit the golden buzzer, and it was so exciting. I was so emotional. I said, this is the first day of the rest of my life.
Wow.
And I want people, when they watch that video, to believe that.
Yeah.
That was the day I found out who I was meant to be.
Wow.
You know, I found out that being the way I am and singing the music that I sing, it's not passé. It's not something, you know, to poke fun at. It's not something that's just a hobby.
You knew it.
I knew it from that very moment. Everything else after that audition was gravy. Everything else was gravy.
What was the feeling coming off that stage? That was at the highest of your life. That moment coming off the stage after getting the buzzer and you're walking off.
My Aunt Maria. At this point, my family all came.
I remember that. What's your mom's name? Liz?
Maria.
Who's Liz? Is that
Liz is my sister.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
my
Maria, yeah.
Aunt Maria, my Aunt Marianne, my godmother, my dad's sister, my mom Maria, my Aunt Cynthia, and my other friend Tommy were all in the audience. And my Aunt Cynthia is my aunt, not through blood, but because she was one of the my Uncle Joe isn't my Uncle Joe through blood. My blood Uncle Joe, my mother's brother, is my Uncle Joe's brother-in-law, my two Uncle Joes. So it's my Aunt Maria's sister's husband is my Uncle Joe. They met at St. John's, and they also met their friend Cynthia, and they were best friends since. So when we all lost Joe in the worst way, and so Cynthia was there. I remember coming off stage and not recognizing the feeling.
Wow.
Of feeling like I felt like I did something. They're like, you did. You got a golden buzzer. I said, no. I felt something move in me.
Wow.
What is that? Where I feel like I accomplished something. And Tommy goes, you're proud of yourself. And I said, I'm proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself.
Wow.
It was the first time in my life that I could say that. And also, it was the moment that I knew I had to call my Aunt Netta, my Uncle Joe's widow. And Cynthia was there. And I called her up and I said, I did it. I did this thing. Yeah. And she said, Joe's with you there. He's with you there. I felt him all around.
Are you crying when you're talking to her or no? You're just kind of...
Yeah, but we're all in tears. We're all, you know, think about it. This is 12 and 4. This is 16 months after we lost him so suddenly.
Wow.
So
it's like a full circle
nonsensically, nonsensibly, it's just, whatever the word is. It was extremely emotional.
Wow.
But like I said, it was a life-affirming moment. It was that moment that opened my eyes, that told me this is it. This is it for me.
And life changed for you after this.
Not only did I take it seriously, I hired a trainer to lose some weight.
All right.
I started seeing a vocal coach in the city, Kate Baker. My trainer is Scooter Honig. Scooter's famous for LL Cool J. The reason why LL Cool J looks as good as he does, older than you, is because of this guy, Scooter Honig. He's a conditioning trainer.
He's got a body. LL is like...
Scooter's like my body rabbi. Josh is my finance rabbi.
Yeah.
Scooter is my exercise rabbi.
Yeah.
He is the best. I'm seeing him now again, but I took it seriously, and I was over prepared, and I spent every moment on that show with open ears and open eyes,
Learning from it all.
learning about the way television works. Learning from the guest artists who were on the show, learning from Heidi Klum, You know, Heidi Klum is the reason why. What's her name? Is it Alessandra Ambrosio? I forgot her name.
She is, yeah.
And Giselle Bundchen. She's the reason why they're famous.
Was big. Klum was huge.
Klum was first, and Klum taught them how to use social media. Klum taught them how to capitalize on everything. She is an incredible businesswoman. She has going now 3 different television shows in 2 different countries.
She's still on AGT, right?
Still on AGT. Yeah. I believe Howie Mandel is the only cast member of AGT who's longer than her.
Yeah.
She's outlasted Howard Stern, Mel B.
Howard was just a couple years. He was one
Nick
year, right?
Cannon.
Yeah.
Howard was a few years. Yeah.
I love Howard.
I love Howard.
Yeah.
I listen to Howard pretty much every day.
Can I ask you one question though? When you're during the whole process of AGT, does Simon play any kind of like mentor role to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you have time? He gives you time?
This is where I was getting with Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell, for those who don't know why Simon Cowell's famous, it's not American Idol. American Idol is what brought him to
the mainstream.
Teletubbies. Right, Teletubbies.
I'm a Simon guy.
Simon Cowell produced the Teletubbies, which was a very popular show in the 90s and early 2000s. But even before that,
WWF?
He was an A&R guy. Okay. He would find artists and bring them to labels, and sign them. His first big sign was the Spice Girls. Simon Cowell's famous for putting groups together. Simon Cowell is the man behind One Direction.
He was genius for doing that. They all came as solo acts.
They came as separate solo acts. They auditioned for the X Factor UK, and he put them together. Or BGT. I forgot which one it was.
I think it was X Factor.
X Factor.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So Simon Cowell is famous for launching the Spice Girls. He was living in his car.
Yeah.
He had a Mercedes at the time. He was living in the back seat of his Mercedes and sold the Spice Girls, and that's what started his career. So this is a guy who you want to learn from. You want to. My Uncle Dean was a union guy. My Uncle Dean, when I had my first dinner with Bo Dietl, One Tough Cop, he said, whenever you have dinner with successful people, always have an ask, because their experience is worth more than a college degree, because they've made the mistakes that you're going to make, so that you don't have to make them.
That's what we talk about a lot.
You're gonna learn more from their experience than you're ever going to get from being seen with them. So that's what I did around Simon. Simon was very gracious. He would in between takes of the live shows, he would walk up to my family in the audience and basically tell them how proud he was of me, and how he's one of my all-time favorite. I'm one of his all-time favorite acts. Wow. It was actually during the pandemic, they did an episode of America's Got Talent where they reviewed Simon's top 15 auditions of all time, of all the Got Talent auditions. Susan Boyle.
Was that number one?
That was number one and number two. Yeah. But that was his baby, Susan Boyle, Grace VanderWaal, and I was in there. I think I was like number 7 or 8. Wow. I was so honored.
That was awesome.
He's just a great guy. Yeah. He's a great dude. He's got a lot of genius to him. Now, as a Howard Stern fan, I cannot justify the leaked Sony emails where he's saying, "Listen, I can do Howard's job better than him." But I will say that he is the top when it comes to knowledge of the music business, of the business side of things. He knows what he's looking at. He knows what he's doing, and getting the nod from Simon Cowell is like, a fairy godmother tapping you on the shoulder.
Were you ever on Stern? Did you ever go to Howard Stern show or no?
No.
That would be a dream, right?
That would be a dream of mine.
I love Howard Stern so much.
Here's I joke with people, because I still put out records and everything. It's a great way to stay relevant. It's a great way to continue touring, and the longer you tour, the more you'll do. Like, my bread and butter is corporate, private. I'm the big surprise at the destination wedding, whatever it is, and the music is what keeps that coming in.
But you tour though, right? You make a living touring,
yeah.
Okay.
But the touring is what fuels the private end of things.
Yeah.
Which is a
That's where the money.
huge
Is that where
deal.
the money's at?
That's where the money's at. So it's not
getting a
recording
corporate gig.
anymore.
Yeah, no, recording's done, right?
Recording
But-
is done.
Yeah. You just do that
Spotify, Apple Music has ruined, the mechanical side of making money off of music. So I joke though, and I say the whole reason for doing it isn't to stay relevant to perform. It's to get on Howard Stern.
That would be the
I'm
dream.
waiting for the
call.
Standards album to take
Yeah.
off. Which, I mean, the best new artist at the Grammys this year was Samara Joy.
Yeah,
She's a jazz singer from Brooklyn.
yeah.
You know, she won the Grammy singing a 80-year-old Jimmy McHugh song. You know, so there's still a market, tremendous market for this music, and since I'm the guy, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Has this taken you to Europe at all? Have you toured anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually going back in. I was just in Poland in September, and I'm going back to Europe. I'm doing a show in Saint-Tropez in July.
Oh man, Central Pay. We'll be there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Is it beautiful?
I've been.
never
I
been
go,
to the south.
I
of
usually
France.
spend summers there, and I travel. Oh, you'll love it, man. You'll
So
love it.
the plan is, my wife and I we're gonna go to Italy. We're gonna go to northern Italy.
I just got back there last week. I was in
She's never
Rome.
traveled outside of the country before.
Does she have a passport?
She just got a
All right,
passport.
all right.
So we're going to the Bahamas at the end of the month, because although we're legally married, we want to plan our party, have something. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll do a destination. We don't know yet, but this is going to be like our unofficial honeymoon.
Wow.
So we're going to fly into Italy, tour northern Italy, and then go to Saint-Tropez in between for the gig because it's right.
Yeah,
Saint-Tropez
it's right
is only
there.
2 hours from.
We spent this. Just have a newborn, so she's Ukrainian. So the parents left there. They're in Poland. And last summer we spent the summer in Europe. I traveled back and forth running the business, leave them there.
Don't you love Poland?
Haven't been to Poland, but
You
I've
got to
been,
go.
Yeah, but
Warsaw
yeah.
is a beautiful city.
Yeah,
It really is.
South
I
of
got
France.
to see a lot while I was there. But
Yeah.
that's how. But that's the impact that the show has.
Yeah. No, this show gave you. This is. Man, thank God for
It's
it.
a global thing, and
Yeah.
what ends up happening, believe it or not, why am I here 7 years later, still touring, still performing, still
Are you
relevant?
recognized when you walk around? Do people
Oh,
say,
yeah.
"Oh, that's Sal. There's Sal"? That's
We'll go out. We'll go out after this.
It's a great feeling, or
We'll take a
what?
walk.
It's a great
around.
feeling,
It's an
right?
incredible feeling.
Yeah.
It's the best part of the job, honestly, to be out and to, oh my God, you're the guy, and then they meet me, and I'll say if I have time, sometimes I take the Long Island Railroad, and I'm waiting for a train, and especially because it's the Long Island Railroad, and Long Island is the hometown, it could get a little nuts, but
Yeah.
that's part of the fun of it,
Good for you, man.
is sharing this moment with these people and then having these people realize that I'm just like them. I'm a normal guy, hometown guy. I'll always end up back where I started. I love Long Island. Where you live in Manhattan?
I live Upper West, but right by Howard Stern. I live right next to Howard Stern.
Oh, that's great.
I can see his building in front of mine.
That's great.
Yeah, I love him.
He's
you.
also from Long Island. He's from Roosevelt. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise kids. It's just a great place, and the community kind of rallies around you. So that's wonderful. And then, of course, traveling abroad, getting recognized is tremendous too.
It's awesome.
But the reason why 7 years later it's still relevant is because of that audition video. You want to know that I get people come to my shows in, even in New York, but Wisconsin or Branson, Missouri, or Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and they'll say, we're new fans of yours, relatively so. I saw your audition video a few weeks ago. I was in a YouTube loop of Golden Buzzer. This is always the story. I was in a YouTube loop of Golden Buzzer audition videos. Happened upon yours. Absolutely fell in love. Googled you. Saw you were going to be in, close by in a few weeks, and bought these tickets.
It's awesome.
So that's what that show does for you.
Yeah.
It's tremendous exposure. Now couple that with the fact that I went into it prepared.
Yeah.
That's the recipe.
You know what? This whole interview, from the story to where you started to where you're at. It's like a one big full circle moment. It started with being demoted in the play, to American Idol, to being more prepared for AGT Alexa, what's her name, Alexa?
Alexa Keane.
She really prepared you, didn't she?
Yeah.
She
And in the end, at the finale, and I made it to the finale, which is tremendous. If you can make it to American Idol, you got to make it to like the top 3.
Yeah.
If you want longevity, because you want to be on so many episodes, you want to be in the public eye for so long. America's Got Talent's a great show because the top 10 are all finalists. It's the top 10 are all finalists.
Sal, this is when American Idol, I mean, not American Idol, AGT was like getting 20 million, you know, this was big views.
My finale episode had 20 million live views. And I think a week later I checked back in because then it goes on to Prime Video and on demand. I think in total it was over 30 million views. And my audition video, collectively, it's 140 million views on YouTube, or 200 million views collectively.
Wow, that's crazy.
On just the audition. If you add up all the videos, the live performances, the quick takes, the Christmas special with Heidi Klum, it's 500 million.
Wow.
So I've been seen 500 million times on YouTube.
Wow.
There's at least 500 million people, if not more, if there's several people watching at once, who know who I am.
Timing
500 million. That's a big percentage of the Earth's population. All because of that.
Wow. Timing's everything, man.
Timing is everything. Simon Cowell's inaugural year, Nick Cannon's second to last year.
Yeah, he was a great
And he was
host.
an iconic host.
He was
He really
He was
was.
the best host that they had.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
Him and Jerry Springer.
Yeah, Springer was
Springer was great.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Springer.
Yeah.
So yeah, timing is everything.
Yo, man.
Since America's Got Talent, I've continued to learn about the industry. But I mentioned before that one of the reasons why I had a hard time on the musical was because I was thrusted into this.
Yeah.
I didn't have any idea what I was doing. This time, same idea. I wasn't, a lot of people say, yeah, I'm in the industry. And they do parties and whatever, and they handle themselves. It was my first time dealing with management. It's my first time dealing with agents.
Yeah.
It's my first time dealing with theaters, it's my first time playing with a band, playing with a live band.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to ask you about that. So when you're out, you have do you have a group, like you have your guys?
I'll perform to tracks from time to time.
But when you go to this show,
But when I do shows, I'm
live
with
band.
a 9-piece band.
Gotcha.
6 horns. It'll be first, second trumpet, trombone in the back. In the front is alto, tenor, and baritone sax, drummer, upright bass, piano.
Do you ever sing this song when do you ever sing do you like Four Seasons, Frankie Valli? Do you sing I love you?
Yeah.
Baby?
I recorded it, actually.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Hey man,
I love the Four Seasons. I love Frankie Valli.
I want to say it was it's a privilege having you. We right? You guys have anything for him? It was just a great interview. We
I hope I
appreciate
gave you
it.
enough.
Man, you gave us everything,
this
man.
Is great.
We really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
This has been amazing.
so much.
I actually want
Do you have any
to.
questions?
Yes.
I have just so. What
get back.
is the big picture? I guess moving forward, you're going to continue touring. You mentioned the private stuff is a big thing, which I'm very aware with musicians. It's like
So my performance career is going great. And it's been going great. However, is that it? No. I started during the pandemic focusing more on internet content. I started a web series called Get in the Car with a social media outfit called Growing Up Italian. They're out of Brooklyn. New York Nico?
Yeah, I follow that guy. Yeah,
Nico's very tight with them.
Yeah.
So we started a web series where we go to Italian American enclaves. So the Italian, we have a Little Italy in New York. A lot of people don't know that San Diego has a Little Italy.
Yeah, I know
a lot
San
of people
Diego.
don't know that Boston has a Little Italy. That Boston's Little Italy is even better than ours. Chicago, St. Louis, New Orleans. New Orleans has a Sicilian population that's been there since the 1850s. That's been there since before the abolition of slavery.
Wow.
And we think that us New Yorkers are like the OG Italians. Off that web series, I've attracted attention from people in film and television.
Yeah.
And so the next move for me is to break into film and television.
You know, we should talk because I'm actually a filmmaker. I have a movie on Hulu as well. And so we have our production company puts this on. So I would be interested in talking to you a little bit about some stuff if you'd like.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I have a show. I have a movie on. It was called Public Figure. It was on Hulu. It's on Amazon, Apple. So that's my real love. I'm
Public Figure.
Yeah, obviously Cash Advance keeps the money coming, but
Right.
my true love is this and the art and the filming and TV production.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Well, you got to turn your vacation into your vocation.
Exactly.
And I guess the holiday special thing is like that's timeless as hell. Like you
Oh
can
my
continue
God.
doing that performance. You go on a bigger network. Like that'll always be a thing.
I always talk about how great of a person Heidi Klum is, and I fear that it falls on deaf ears. Heidi Klum is an incredible person. She is a team player. She took a spill during that performance. She fell. We did a move where I had to like spin her, and she was like, "Spin me like you mean it. Spin me like you mean it." So I like flung her, and she falls, and they cut, and everyone runs over. She goes, "No, I'm fine. Can we do that again?" The dancing? No. The falling. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's good for TV.
They made lawyers run and work up like a release and everything. It's like she wouldn't sue them if she got hurt. Yeah. And we must have done 4 or 5 takes of that. Her knees were bleeding by the end of it. I mean, just so that she can get that shot.
Wow.
And it became like such an iconic performance, an iconic AGT moment. One of these viral moments, these viral videos.
That's awesome.
This defining characteristic of my career, one of my most popular albums, is a Christmas album.
Wow.
You know, I have an original Christmas song.
Do you get
It became Mr.
royalties?
Christmas.
Do you get royalties off those? Like when you're remaking some of the songs and they sell, do you get a royalty or do you have to?
So you get you own the master.
Okay.
There's two
publishing-
sides.
the
There's the
publishing?
publishing and there's the
Yeah,
master.
I got you.
So when I recorded what the hell is the name of the song? The Frankie Valli song. It's too early for this.
Begging?
No. I love you, baby.
Yeah.
You're just too good to be. Can't take my eyes off you is the name of the song.
Can't take my...
So Frankie Valli gets the publishing. I get the master. Now that I've evolved into doing more original arrangements for these songs, I'm on Seriously Sinatra pretty regularly. I get the master, and whoever wrote the song gets the publishing.
You know, going to the Frankie Valli. So there was another guy that wrote those songs, though, right? For Frankie, he had a partner.
Charlie Colello.
Yeah, he was in the group, right? He was the
Charlie
guy.
Colello.
Yeah.
No, there was there was that guy
Bob something.
Bob Gaudio.
He was the genius, right?
Bob Gaudio wrote a lot of the music.
He wrote a lot of it.
To say that Bob Gaudio was the genius behind the Four Seasons is not totally not giving Frankie Valli.
No, and I wouldn't
credit.
say as far as like the voice is his Frankie,
Right.
But the writing,
A lot of the writing was Bob
Bob
Gaudio, and then another fella called Charlie Colello. Charlie Colello actually still arranges.
No, Frankie Valli was the Four Seasons.
Frankie Valli was the
Four
Four Seasons, and of course he had an amazing solo career after that.
It's just too good to be true.
Yeah,
Man, I
exactly.
love him. You see Jersey Boys?
Yeah. I've seen Jersey Boys 4 times.
See, I've seen Hamilton 8.
Oh yeah.
I think Lin-Manuel is a genius.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
But I'm in the same genre as you. I love the Four Seasons. I love Frankie Valli. I love Frank Sinatra. I was 21 years old, singing "Strangers in the Night" to these girls.
Oh, it's great.
That's
classy.
the bottle of wine. Yeah, I mean that's my. I love it. I love Martin Lewis,
especially Vegas.
Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah, I mean,
You have the bootlegger.
Yeah,
You know the bootlegger on Las Vegas Boulevard?
No, I left a long time ago, but
It's been there for.
The bootlegger?
50
It's
years.
a drink. It's a place.
It's a little Italian restaurant off the strip. It's between the strip and the South Point.
I think I've there is a place. Is it on Flamingo or what is that?
No, it's on Las Vegas Boulevard.
It's
on South Las Vegas Boulevard.
I don't know it. No.
Are you from NLV or
No,
South
so I
Las
was born
Vegas?
in Henderson, and then I grew
Okay.
up by I went to high school in the lakes area.
This is about 15 minutes from Henderson, off the strip. It's this little room where all these guys ended up in the end, like playing at a piano bar.
I don't know it.
Oh, wow.
They have this little room called the Copa Room. But anyway, oh goodness, what are we talking about? Frankie Valli, the music. So Seriously Sinatra, the way we get into that, and that's great because it's satellite, it's global, it introduces new people to your music.
You go on live?
So,
Or
I'll be hosting a show soon where on a Sunday where I pick the music and I play
talk in between, right?
Right, I talk in between a little bit. And but the most special thing has been to come up with some original arrangements. Okay. So everyone's heard Just a Gigolo, Louis Prima, and the Louis Armstrong version. Older than that, it's very fun. 2-5-1 song changes, and we did it with a big band. And I had a fella named Glenn Morissette do the arrangements. Everyone loves Family Guy.
Yeah.
But nobody realizes that on every episode of Family Guy, there is a live 40-piece band that's playing the intros and outros to every scene. Now, not live like while the episode's airing, but they play that da-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-da, like from scene to scene. Seth MacFarlane is a genius.
He loves the music.
I'm constantly asked if there's anyone that you could sit, dead or alive, that you could have lunch with, that you could work with. Who would it be? I say Seth MacFarlane without hesitation. They go, what?
Because he's old soul.
First of all, he's a comedic genius. Yeah. Second of all, he has the voice of an angel. Yeah. If you ever heard Seth MacFarlane sing, it's beautiful. And third, he knows what he's doing when he puts these arrangers together. And Glenn Morissette was one of the arrangers from Family Guy.
Yeah, wow.
And I hired him to do my last record, Little Valentine.
Wow.
And it added that touch of originality. Wow. It made the songs more mine than a cover.
He gave you your touch, yeah. Put your touch on it, yeah.
Right. It allowed that.
Before we leave, we have one thing we want to do for you. So give me 1 sec, okay? You can just keep recording.
Yeah.
You guys have anything else for him?
No, that's good.
We appreciate you, man. Give me 1 second.
I appreciate you guys. Are you kidding me, Brian? Adam, thank you. Look at this. Look at how classy. Wow. This is beautiful. I'm going to use this wallet.
Someday,
STV.
when I'm awfully
Look at that.
when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking